What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Just came back yesterday
Um,
uh,
so you were in
from
France, huh?
France. Yeah, cool.
Technology, can never
Yep.
get it right. So what's up, bro? Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's been a while since we've talked about doing that, so
yeah.
I'm stoked.
I talk to everybody about it, and then I just
Yeah.
never do it.
Well, you're a busy man.
Yeah, everybody's busy.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah. I'm still, I still have a ton to do.
Yeah.
Literally, I haven't gone to the school yet. I came back yesterday afternoon and I died.
Yeah. How
I
how long
slept
were you
like
in France
4.
for?
Only 10 days, 11 days. But, it's been quite intense, especially the first part. And then the second part, we didn't have wind for the windsurf part of the DeFi. So I've been on the computer a lot, like getting some stuff done.
Yeah. So is that why
But
you went to France for the Defi
yeah, yeah,
specifically?
yeah.
And you went with Sergio from Mexico?
Yeah, he went just for the kite part.
Okay.
I try to motivate a bit more people to go because I think it would be more fun to have like a strong group of Mexican riders over there. But it was the only one who could make it actually, and yeah, it was super fun, man. It was a lot of fun to have him and to like for him to experience the DeFi or a competition of this caliber early because I'm used to it, but
Oh, do you
it's
go
it's
every
really
year?
cool. Uh, I mean, I didn't. Yeah, it's not my first one. I don't go every year because it's expensive and stuff. But I'm used to big competition. I've been competing a lot in my life. Uh, and Sergio have done like Miami Winfest probably was the biggest competition he has ever done.
I
And
mean, it's
like
not small. It's
it's
not a
not
small
small, but the
event.
the like if you've never done the DeFi, it's something else. Like there is nothing in the world that get even close to that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the organization of it is next level. Like you can't compare.
Because you said you did a lot of competing. That was back in your windsurfing days, right? Is
Yeah,
that what you mean?
that was so I started windsurfing in 2000 and something like that. 2002, 2003. Then, in France, it's really well organized. Like you have the local competitions and then regional and then nationals. And then when you get to the nationals, you can also go like European Championship, World Championship, all of that in youth category. And then if you go well, you go in the senior category and then Olympic class, which is what I was doing. And so I've done that like the whole like typical career up all the way to 2012. And then you really have to decide, okay, do I go 4 more years to try to go to the Olympics, or is it enough? And,
Yeah.
and should I go to Mexico and surf every day? Yeah, that's what I end up doing.
So that was your turning point, huh? In the competition, it's either you either go and you go full force, or
Yeah,
because you can't go halfway.
not in this class at least. I mean, I guess you could, and it's kind of what I consider I'm doing right now.
Hmm.
But now I know also that I have a stable life around it, and I can do that, right? At the moment, like back then, I did it like professionally between 18 and 22 years old without side jobs. So like keep going for 4 more years. That means that if you're not selected and you don't get medal or nothing, like you start working at 26. And I don't know, I didn't see myself started working that late. And also like, okay, you go for 4 years, but it's still very, very hard to get selection, like to get a selection, especially for France.
Yeah.
Because it's only one athlete per country, and France is really like it's one of the strongest country for this for Olympic sailing class really. Like sailing in France
Yeah.
is huge. So the next Olympic, like the Rio Olympics, which is the one I didn't choose to do the work to try to go. Like the ticket for for the selection was being world champion basically, because the French that went, he won the world championship, and then the next one, the French that went came second at the world championship to get the
Oh
pass.
shit.
So if you could even finish top 3 in the world, and it's still not enough for
Yeah.
France. And
Damn French.
yeah, exactly. So it's easier in other countries. There are several countries that are like France, like in Netherlands. They have
Yeah.
huge level. Poland. there is a guy in Poland. He finished like I think he had 3 world championships title, 4 European champion title. Didn't go to the games. Like it's that hard. Like Olympic level sailing, it's next level. It's nothing compared to regular kite events or wing foil events.
Yeah.
Like wing foiling, it's looking like it's gonna go toward this way, but still, it's so new that it's not really the same. Still,
Yeah. I mean, you just need like a
yeah.
dual citizenship, find a country that's got no water, boom, be their only athlete, ticket.
Well, yes and no, because you still have to qualify the country. There's only
Okay.
25 spots for the men, I believe. In windsurf, it's 25. In kite, it's 20. So you have to be top 20 country in the world if you want to qualify the kite, and it's easier said than done.
Um, so when did you move from France to Cancun, Riviera Maya, which is where you're at now? You've got a beautiful spot, kite school, Shaka Vibes.
Yeah.
Um,
So in 2012, I decided I had to finish. I had to do an internship abroad to finish my business school, and I chose to do it in Mexico, but I did it on the other side in Puerto Vallarta. So I spent a year there doing my internship and started working again surfing every day. And from there, I was pretty much done with that area because like the low season is too low for like there's nothing really to do.
yeah.
And I said, well, I'm gonna come back to France probably, but I'll go through Cancun because it's cheaper to go back to France, and I can discover a little bit. And I had an offer to coach the windsurfing school over there, and I ended up loving it, and I never came back to France. So that's
So you
how I
got
ended up
stuck
in
in
Cancun.
Mexico.
Yeah, pretty much. And doing coaching for the windsurfing at first. And then that's when paddleboarding became like big. So aside from the windsurfing school, I opened my own paddle shop, like paddle tours and stuff like that. And I did that for several years. And eventually I learned kiting, and I added
So
I
you
added kiting
so you
to the
learned kiting
school.
in Cancun?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So not that long ago then.
It was probably 2015,
Oh damn.
something like that. Yeah, 10 years ago. Um, but then basically I learned already having a school
Yeah.
because I partnered with a Kai school that was not really like organized as it should be maybe,
Uh-huh.
and we joined my windsurf and paddle school to his kite school, created like a global school that have all the sports. And then I was managing like all the operations from that, and that's where I learned, like had the opportunity to learn kiting. And then since I learned, I could do it almost every day on a good spot, and that went pretty quick.
Was that the same spot you're at now in that area?
No, I mean the paddleboard, yes, but the kiting, it was in Isla Blanca first.
Oh, okay.
Actually, also in Nisuk on the south of Cancun. Nisuk, then Isla Blanca, and then I think it's been 5 years now that I'm in Puerto Cancun. Just after COVID, it's when I ended up opening also the wing foiling. So when the wing foiling started, I was like among the first to get my hands on a wing, and I had already had a subfoil board
Hmm.
that was a go for, and I just bought a wing and started winging, and it was easy as a windsurfer,
Yeah.
and I already know how to foil with a kite.
Were
And
you foiling on the windsurf as well?
yeah, I learned that my first year in Cancun. My ex-coach came in holiday with the first foil from Oru, French brand, and that was hard
I
to
don't
learn.
even know
It
it.
was it was it was insane. We
Really?
spent like two
Even as a
weeks.
really good windsurfer?
We spent 2 weeks, the both of us, to get to really get the hang of it, like to continuously fly it. We crashed so hard so many times. Um,
Man, that stuff is just so heavy. I can't even imagine trying to foil that thing.
well, now it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like now, if you want to start windsurf foiling, it's really really easy. Like last year at AWSI, it's a funny story because I saw on the starboard uh, tent there was pretty awesome race equipment, slalom sail, everything. It was all set up and it was windy. It was 2 years ago actually, and I asked the guy at Starboard, hey, can I give a go at this one, like just to give a try to the new slalom kit. And Svein, the owner of Starboard, as soon as he heard someone interested in doing windsurf, like he dropped the guy he was talking to, and he came talking to me. Hey, can you try this? And he showed me like the most beginner foil windsurf equipment, you know. I was like, but I know how to foil already. Like I mean, no, but I really want you to try. Like, and you know, you can't say no to that guy. And so I jumped on a super long board with a very large foil, and it's the easiest way to foil. Honestly, like if you know how to windsurf, you learn windsurf foil like, much faster than any other, much faster than a kiter learn kite foiling.
But how would you know if you're already so good at foiling? You could
Like
just tell that
it
it just
was just
felt.
so easy. You stand on
Yeah.
the board, close the sail, and you fly. Like it was
Yeah.
ridiculously easy. A lot easier than wind foiling.
Hmm.
But
Wild.
it's not like like it's a gear. Maybe if you have a windsurf school and want to get people into foiling stuff like that, it's not the gear I would buy. But honestly, it was the easiest foiling experience that I had.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, easier than wing foiling, but I don't see it in the water though. So,
All right. So backtrack.
yeah,
You did it on a windsurfer
I did it
a little bit, and then
on the windsurf, then on the kite. Was the first was that the Happy Foil or something like that from Liquid Force?
mhm,
Was Vegas. Was
with
very
this nice,
a
perfect option.
sea
No deep
kite.
power.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then after that, I think there is the whole Kaileni video that okay, that's what I'm doing next. And then together with Ollie, we bought a set of GoFoil
Hmm.
with four different wings, like the whole set.
Yeah.
And we started doing like and I shaped myself a board also with Ariane, a local shaper. Like together, we kind of copied the first KT board, and that was my first setup. So we started I I used that board as
Proning.
with my kite. No, no, no. Oh no, not yet. I'm still late at proning, but no kite foiling was that board, and
Mhm.
then with the ski with jet ski we started like downwinding with that, and that was probably 2017. I don't know, like
Yeah.
literally right after Kaileni's video, we bought the
Hmm.
GoFoil,
And you guys were doing little downwinders then with Ollie
but
that long ago.
with the jet ski.
Okay.
Actually, we have a video on my Instagram. I could probably find that, but we did the first real downwind that we did. We launched from Chac Mall, which is a surf break at the eastern part of the hotel zone. He was in kite with handle on the back,
Oh,
like
so
with a
you towed
leash.
behind him?
And no, yeah, exactly. So Oli was launching me, and I would go downwind until I'm too tired. And we even tried to switch the kite in the water, like switch the harness. And I told him didn't work at all. Like we could do the change of kite, but he couldn't get started. So we switched
Oh
again and
shit.
stuff like that. Like
What
yeah,
if you like
very
let go of the kite?
we're like
Didn't even think about it. You're like,
you know Oli, like he'll do whatever to go downwind.
yeah. And were you guys getting some success? Like,
Yeah, it actually
would you
worked.
consider it success
Yeah,
at
it
this
worked.
point?
Honestly, downwind was definitely not the same. Like we used to downwind paddleboarding, so we had a really strong paddleboard downwind. Like we did it a lot.
You mean like with the
Probably
14 footers, like the
it
big?
was yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. So we had a good team with Mariana, Luis, Oli, and I, where we would go every time it's windy. We do the downwind. That's how we start the day early in the morning, and then everybody's go off to work.
Because Ollie did the M2O
Yeah,
on a sup, right?
that's that period. We were training a lot. We were doing a lot of downwind.
Did you do that too?
I didn't do the M2O. I did a couple of national competitions. I
Yeah.
was really good on the 5K technical race and stuff like that. Didn't really like the long distances, but yeah, we had a lot of paddling time, racing, and a lot of downwinding already. And
Hmm.
so that's probably where we learned like to connect bumps and read the bumps and everything. So came foiling, and okay, with a lot of time on the kite, I get pretty like comfortable on the foil. So we started downwinding, like either with a ski or towed by a kite and then letting go, like stuff like that. But it did work, but it was obviously we didn't need a lot of time because like
Yeah,
it's a lot to
it
like
sounds pretty brutal.
yeah.
So it's
And then
not the easiest thing to do.
yeah, and then winging arrived, and that's how like where downwinding shifted from paddle to with the wing, which was the obvious answer at this moment.
Yeah.
And we did a bunch of downwinding with the wing until Oli have a bright idea at the really beginning of the sub downwinding to get the gear and suffer.
Yeah.
And I would see him suffer, and there's no way I'm doing that. It's stupid. You're stupid, Oli. I'm never doing that. And until I
That
did.
that surprises me because you seem like the very competitive type. You know, like you're
Yeah, but
still doing competitions. It's kind of, you know, it's like a side thing, but I can see you take it extremely serious. You know, for
well, I
as
mean,
serious as you can. So what was
the
it about the
thing is,
sub? Because you
I didn't really had any sight of what it looks like. Like I've seen the videos in my like it was all everything was filmed in Hawaii, and I said, look, you can't compare. Like, Oli, you want to do the same stuff as they do in Hawaii? There's no way. Like, we're in Cancun. There's no way. So that, and he was with like some phantom foils, I think, from F1, like low aspect. When
yeah,
eventually it was getting up, it was for 100 meters. And in the meantime, we were having so much fun downwinding with the wing. I said, why don't you just take a wing? It's easier and it's the same. Until eventually he was dead. He couldn't keep going. And so I offered him like, hey, okay, well, give me that. I'm gonna try. And so I took his board and actually could stand up and get going and say, oh, okay, it is cool.
right on your first go.
Yeah, yeah.
Bastard.
It was a massive foil. It was 1400 something.
But still, it doesn't matter. I mean, I suffered for months to try to get like, but I have no paddle
I
experience
had
at
like
all. Like, I didn't even
um
know what a paddle. I was grabbing the handle the other way. I thought maybe the flat section was where you paddle, not the scoop. I was confused by that.
yeah, no, I had a really strong paddle experience both in racing and also in surfing with tiny boards that sink. So I could stay on the board like with the paddle with a sinker and all of that. Like I had strong paddle experience and strong foiling experience and already a lot of downwind under my feet, right?
Yeah.
So I did the run, like I felt a lot and stuff like that, but I actually did the run. Well, three-quarter of the run, like the first quarter only
Suffered through it
only
for you.
suffered.
That
And so I said, okay, that's interesting. And that was with the board he still have, like the black.
yeah,
I
I've
don't
seen
even
it.
know the
Yeah.
name. Like it's probably not the best board, but I mean it works. And I said, okay, well, it's actually easy. So the next day,
You know
I
how many people are gonna hate you for saying
oh,
that?
I know, but then
It's actually easy, yeah.
but then I went to suffering. The next day I took it's a Kalama E5 or something like that, a
Oh,
5'9",
oh, brutal.
25 wide. So this is gonna be a lot better. And I never took off like that.
Ouch.
I took my phone and I remember sending a audio message to the group like this is fucking stupid. It's useless. Everyone is winging, having fun, and I'm like sitting in the water. It's terrible. Never doing that again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
It can be brutal.
yeah. That's still like probably the worst experience I've had.
Oh man, I had
Uh,
like 50 of those.
yeah, no, I learned. So after that, I just bought the F1 board, and with a good board, it went
Yeah.
pretty
Because
pretty good after that.
it's interesting you say that you guys were enjoying the winging downwinding. Like I don't know, I just never really liked doing downwinders. Even with a kite. People are like, "Oh, let's go downwind on the kite." I'm like, I just don't
On the
get it,
kite, I've
you
never
know?
no on the kite I don't like it, but
And
on the wing, I think
even even with the
it's really
wing, I
good.
didn't love it. I don't know what it was. But then when the downwinding thing happened and I was actually getting some flight, yeah, we do downwinders with the wing, but then the only thing that was in my mind is that this wing is just in the way. Like I just want to get rid of it and figure out how to do it without it. But it was never I never really would do downwinders with the wing. It wasn't like an activity for me. I just didn't.
Mm.
I didn't see the point. I didn't get
I,
it.
I, I really enjoyed it. And I did one the other day, just to try a new board and stuff. And I think it's really, there's something to it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Well,
no, I really like it. And it's definitely the easiest entry to
yeah.
downwinding. Maybe the foil drive, but I'm not even sure. Like I haven't had enough time on the foil drive to
I don't
know.
know. I mean, it's
But
hard to tell. You could toss a coin, I think, on those ones. If you're like a good winger,
mhm,
then it's
yeah,
fine, But if you're not a winger, but you can foil or you have different avenues into it, then foil drive might be easier. But
I take my first guys out for their first downwind when they understand well enough they can. Some goes when they don't even jive yet, but you can be winging like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, don't even jive and do your first downwinder and get
yeah,
pushed a little bit by a wave. Not Paola say I'm lying.
you liar.
she
Years.
she had her first downwinder. I don't know if we should talk about it. Yeah,
Long learning curve.
it was a long kilometer.
Oh, brutal. Well, we've all been through that.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
all go through that.
yeah. And then
Um,
yeah, a lot of then I got my. You know what? No, I'm missing a step there because I went to AWSI 2 years ago, and I did a downwinder there with F1 board, and Hood River downwind, like, and it was so awesome. And that's when I ordered a board, or like straight
yeah, yeah.
away. I actually came back with a board, with a proto F1 board, from
From the show.
from the show, and 3 weeks after I received my like 7.4, my proper board, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's
and
what
from
everyone
there, it's all I
everyone
did.
from a Latin country does that. Anytime you
Yeah,
go to AWSI, try to grab as much gear to luggage
yeah,
and mule home as you can.
yeah. I came back yesterday from France with 4 board bags.
Yeah, yeah. You're like just a
Yeah,
mule.
yeah. But then, yeah, I did like the whole season. I did sub downwinds and really loved it.
Yeah, hooked on it.
And
But
then,
but you do all of it, right? And you still cross over and do all the disciplines, right?
yes, I really like doing that.
You get a ton of water time, it seems like.
As much as I can, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my body that tells me, yeah, you have enough. It's not the conditions that will
Dictate.
like, yeah. If yeah, I'm in a position where I do have all the toys that doesn't cost me. Like it's everything I buy eventually make me money.
Yeah.
So I can buy all the gear. Like if I want foil drive, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna eventually earn from it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have a need for foil drive right now, but like I
Or
have
you're
the
not going to
e-foils, I have
lose.
the
At least you're just not going to lose.
exactly. So I'm fortunate to have all the toys and the pump foils and the kite foils and the wing foils, and so no excuse. You
I
zero
mean, you've
to
got to.
50 knots, you're on the
0 to
water.
15 knots.
Yeah.
So, um, I guess you moved to Cancun and you kind of started the kite school right when I left. It was at the
Yeah.
same time. But I mean, I had no idea who you were. I was so like focused on my school that I didn't care or know what anybody else was doing. But I'm sure you were there. I'm sure I saw
I
snippets of your
think
videos because you had like a pretty decent Instagram following because you did
I
these like
started. No,
nice cinematic stuff.
I started Instagram during COVID.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then I must have seen you
No,
after.
so the first time I heard of it was PDC kiteboarding, right?
Mhm.
It's when Demi bought it.
Yeah.
It's the first time like okay, there is some schools in Playa, but I've never been really fan of Playa del Carmen. I don't really go there. Never kited in Playa. So I mean, I knew of of PDC kiteboarding, and then Demi, whom I knew from Isla Blanca, yeah, I bought PDC kiteboarding, whatever. So we never met before. At least I don't think I've met you before.
No, I
But
guess I, I
it's
guess in
strange because
passing.
no,
No,
go ahead.
I was just saying. Yeah, probably in passing. AWSI.
Yeah,
I've been there for 4 years in a row.
yeah, maybe we crossed, but without knowing, obviously. And it's funny because we talked to Mariana, which you have a Mariana in your organization, and I have like our organization at the moment are really similar, I think, where you do multiple sports and retail, and you also like cross training different foiling sports,
Yeah.
and the videos also like you create creative part also. So it's fun that we do pretty much the same and never really cross path
Yeah,
until Eric.
you're like a younger, handsome French version of me.
How
More
old are you?
athletic. I'm 33.
I'm older than you.
Oh, are you?
I'm 35.
Oh, really? I thought you were like just in your 30s. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, I'm 35.
Oh, okay,
But
well then you can't be more handsome than me then. That's impossible. You're older.
yeah, you
No, but
just
I mean, you
don't speak
inspired me
French.
when I saw you. You inspired me to do the kite foiling. Like I've always been
Yeah,
kite foiling, right? I've been doing it since 2012, and I
the jumping part.
always strapless. I'm like, why would I jump with it? Like I can do that with a twin tip, whatever. And then I saw you like boosting big airs and doing board offs in like marginal wind, but just getting so much air. I was like, fuck. I'm like, I definitely got to get into that. So when I got home, I put straps on my board, put as small of a foil as I could, and started tuning it because it took some time to figure it out. But on
Uh-huh.
my first day, I was just like launched into the air, and I was like, fuck, this is sick. I'm never riding a twin tip again.
It's yeah, it's what I say. The thing is, like now when it's really windy and I get a twin tip, I can do all the tricks that I train in foiling. Like I just need like a little bit of adjustment, timing,
Yeah.
for the launch, like for the pop and everything. But then the landings are so much easier. So it's not some way to train. I think this year and the next like um seasons, I think we're gonna see a lot of guys riding kite foil big air just to train more when it's not so windy. I can do the
Yeah,
same
because you can
training in
still
15,
you
20
can get the
knots.
same same height, similar
Hmm.
hang time in lighter
Yeah,
wind, right?
and it's a lot
A little bit
safer in
more
my opinion also.
technical. What's safer, the foil?
Well, training big air in 20 knots,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
when you miss compared to 35, 40, like
Yeah,
the crashes are a lot softer. And once you understood how like how not to fall, the foil is not really a danger in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, I've never been hit by it yet.
No,
I wear a helmet. I don't know if you do.
I should.
Yeah. Well, there we
I
go.
should. Yeah.
Um, so because I messaged you right after I saw the stats. Was it like a competition from the Surfer app,
Yeah,
or there's like a
yeah.
combination?
It's a SpaceX and Surfer app like joint thing. I think they are coming up with an app to make competitions
Hmm.
like that you can
Globally?
do. Like, or no, but even you can organize. Okay, so this is the competition, and there is this format or this format and stuff like. I think it's coming up this summer. And this was like a beta thing they were trying basically, and it was cool, man. It was like 1 month, the whole month of May, and four challenges. There was the longest distance, so every kilometers you do on the water counts, every hours counts. There was a second challenge, and there was the highest speed and the highest jumps. So I think it was like a pretty cool concept. I had definitely my eyes on the distance thing and
I
the
saw.
height, it was up to the wind really. Like it's
Yeah.
part like this season in Cancun we don't have strong enough wind to really play in, on that challenge. But then we motivated everyone at the club like to go and do long distance, like go to Isla Mujeres, come back, like do longer sessions that you would normally do. And a lot of people got really motivated and spent so much time on the water in May.
Mm.
Like there is this guy Pika, he's a regular kiter, like he just learned how to uh, change side on his kite foil,
Mm.
and he did like 1,500 kilometers, something like that. Like
What?
he was non-stop on the water. He
Jesus
finished
Christ.
fifth or sixth in the challenge worldwide.
Damn, that's pretty good. So you
Uh-huh.
came first, right?
Yeah,
So you won that, and what was the total
I won
distance you
that.
did in a month? 2,000?
2,300 and 500 or something. I can't, no, let me tell you. 2,600
Because
maybe?
I was on the Surfer app and I follow you. Because it's the Surfer app. It like sends you an email after you do a session
Hmm.
every day, and you're like, "Oh, you got fifth in the world today on your kite foil. Oh,
Yeah.
you did this in the world. You were this in. I was like, I'm always first in Puerto Rico. It's like first. No one else does it, so I'm the only one. And then you're always like a little bit ahead. I'm like, and so I was checking out your profile because you're doing this long distance thing, and I'm like, I wonder how many sessions Maxime had today. And I'm like, dude, back and forth and back. I mean, you're like listening to
Yeah, it's
music, or you're reading a book, or what are you doing? Like, what are you thinking about?
I got pretty bored. I did got really bored. But the thing is, I was also preparing the DeFi competition,
Mhm.
which is exactly the format. Um, the island is the Isla Mujeres is 10 kilometers away from
Mhm.
Shaka Vibes, from my school, and so one
And
race of the
it's a straight
DeFi,
leg, right? It's just like straight
yeah,
there, straight back, and that's
yeah.
what the defi is.
The DeFi is you start, you go 10K, jibe, 10K, jibe, 10K, jibe, finish 10K. So it's 40K every race. Side wind,
Yeah.
nothing much to it. So it's just, I told myself, okay, I'm going to train to be consistently fast, and and my legs, like, they're gonna burn, but better they burn now than they burn during the competition, because I was aiming to do the three sports, and honestly each defi you can compare it to a marathon, and you would have to be really crazy to do three marathons in 3 days, right? And it's kind of what I compare, doing the triple crown in the defi is doing three marathons in a row,
Is
one
is
each
is
day.
that
Like,
an is
it's
that? Oh, it's not three in a day. It's one
like,
every day.
so the DeFi is 3 days of kite foil, then 3 days of wing, and then 4 days of windsurf. But there's no rest day. And it's three different competitions, but out of 2,400 registered this year, we are seven doing all three.
Damn.
So it's not really like no one do it. It's just too hard. It's especially if you really want to push and get the best
Yeah.
results you can. Like, you can also doing chilling, but it's not
Yeah.
really my thing.
So you did the kite foil, wing foil, and you did the windsurf.
The windsurf, we didn't had any wind,
Oh shit.
but I was ready for it, but we didn't get wind.
Oh, and I wonder if they would like look at the forecast and switch it up because you need more wind for the windsurfer, no? And the
Yeah,
first day was
yeah.
like what, 50 knots or something?
So I arrived one day before the competition, and we had gusts of 45, I guess. It's when I did the all my jumps that won me the challenge, the
What was
surfer
that? Like
challenge.
26 meters or something?
Where I think that, no, no, no. So something interesting about this challenge, it's not one highest jump, it's the average of your top five jumps of the month. And so my highest was 23.5, I think. But I had like several my average on the five jumps was 22.6 or something like that. So I had a lot of pretty decent jumps that day. And it was proper windy. Like, I did my highest jumps on the sixth.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I could hold my eight, but I went higher with the six than with the eight somehow.
Yeah, I guess the inertia. I always think that too sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my 10 today. And then I'm like, damn, I think I could get higher on the 9, you know?
Yeah. I
There's like
think,
there's like a trade-off between power and kite speed, right?
yeah. I guess I really like this 6 meters that trigger F1 is like fantastic.
Yeah.
It jumps really high.
So you're an F1 boy, obviously. French. You
Yeah.
got to be riding F1.
I like the brand since a long time.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, so my school and shop, I retail other brands. I have North, and I have Core and Fly Surfer and F1, obviously, and everything. But I really like the F1 foils. And I've started to sell F1 first. And because I was kind of the first to really sell foils and wing foil equipment, like, there is a pretty big, not a monopoly, but everyone is on F1 foils in
Yeah, yeah.
Cancun.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes a lot of sense to people to keep buying F1 because they can change with others
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
and I
it
think at the
creates the
moment,
market, right? I mean,
yeah,
you created that market. If you
yeah,
weren't on F1, then it would be a different brand, and that's what you go anywhere in the world, and you're like, oh, this shop is North, then okay, everyone's kind of riding North, or
yeah.
that's kind of what happens. But
But also, I think that F1 really did a good job early to get really good foils. Like,
yeah,
they, only a few models really wasn't that good, but the Phantom at this time, like, was absolutely awesome. and then the skate and the eagle. Like they are all really really good foils commercially, and
Oh,
like they're
they
easy.
also killed it on the wing, right?
Yeah, exactly,
On the
exactly.
hand
They
wing,
were
like
early
they
to
were
really get
everywhere.
it good. And then on the other side, they kind of had they messed a little bit with the kite for a few years. So I started to stop using F1 kites, and I was using the orbits and cores, and then they came back with really strong kite with the Trigger brainchild. And when I tried this one, I said, okay, yeah, it's the kite I'm riding this year. So at the moment, yeah, I'm full F1. I'm helping a little bit, kind of, I guess, kind of what you do with North. Like I give my opinion
Yeah, yeah.
on some stuff
I like
more commercially.
I like to feel important, you know. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, I help out North, but really they just give me stuff, and then I tell them
They
what I
try
think,
it,
and
but you
they
have the
don't really.
experience of talking to a guy that knows more than you,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's what I felt, and he's explaining you like why you felt that and stuff. I had the opportunity to be with Jamie Overbeek and Ralph during AWSI,
Hmm.
like finishing the trigger
Hmm.
and then touching all the bridling and everything. That was the most interesting. I'm a kite nerd, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was the most interesting experience I've had in the kite industry, really. Like it's what I like, really.
Well,
And I guess um,
Ralph is the ultimate nerd in kiting, right?
yeah.
Like,
I and he explains really well how everything works and stuff. So I love it. If I have more opportunities to do that, I'm definitely taking them.
that's cool.
But yeah, so I ride a lot with F1, but I definitely try everything on the market. I love trying new foils and new kites, boards,
Yeah.
and I have my opinion on everything. I rarely talk about other kits if I haven't tried it, but it's interesting. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love trying everything, and I can only sell a certain amount of things, right? I have a hard time in my shop because actually I've got some new kids working in the shop. I'm going to Hood River tomorrow for a week. It's gonna be sick. Walt got a house there for like the summer. And he's got a spare room, and I like blocked off a week, and so I'm leaving tomorrow. So I'm super excited.
Can he book me a week or 2 weeks in July?
You're gonna have to sleep on his couch and deal with
Yeah,
his
I don't know.
dogs.
I don't know if Señorita will
No,
want that.
maybe not a good idea. Um, so I've got these new kids in the shop that are helping me out while
Mhm.
I'm gone. And they're like, well, what are these wings here in the back? And I've got like this box that says on sale. And I've got these box of wings. It's like some Takumas, some slingshots and whatever. And they're like, oh, I've got those wings. I just can't sell them. I'm like, I've got them for like $200. And they're like, well, why don't you sell them? I'm like, because every time someone comes in, they're like, well, what
You
about
want?
those wings? I'm like, they're okay. Like I'm too honest. Like
Yeah.
I just don't want to sell them because I don't like them. I'm like, they're okay, but they're just like, they're kind of crap, but they're good for their value. So I end up selling
Hmm.
them on a North or something, right? But
Yeah.
so I have these old wings that I just don't know what to do with, can't sell them to save my life. I'm just,
Yeah.
eating it
I'm.
with those old wings.
I have the same.
Yeah.
I have the
I'm like,
same.
So I mean, I'm sure in your area it's the same, right? Everyone, they come to you, they seek out your
Eventually, there is
advice.
always one guy that wants cheap equipment,
Mhm.
and
You
yeah,
can't do anything about it.
if you only have like if you have them, you'll end up selling them, right? But I really take I don't sell to sell. I really sell because I want the guy that's going to buy the equipment to have the best time possible on the water, the best experience. For me, it's much more important than selling what I have to sell because it's bad stock or whatever. So I do end up having a couple of older foil. I don't know who's going to buy that ever, but yeah, it's part of
Well,
the
I
game,
mean,
I guess.
yeah, it's the exact same. Like I'm the exact same. Like I want someone to come in, and I mean, it's a very. I'm in the U.S., right? So it's a hard market. We're on the
Yeah,
island on Puerto Rico, but you can order online. My shop is really got to be. People have to trust me and
yeah,
really, you know, seek out my advice and really want to buy from me to buy, right? So I have to be 100% honest all the time. Make sure everyone's super satisfied. Make sure they've got the equipment they want, and me that I'm really convinced that what I'm giving them is the best option, you know, at the best price that I can do, and the equipment that they can grow into. So, you know, we have like a responsibility. So
Yeah.
I'm left with some stuff that I don't think is the best. Then I end up not being able to sell it, which is a bummer. But there is always that client that can come in and will go against my advice, and they know that they're going against my advice because they don't want to spend $300 more,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's totally fine, right?
I end up also putting a lot of that equipment into the school. Like
Just set up your students
that
for
works.
failure. Good job, Max.
No, no, but
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
mean,
kidding.
it's
I I do the
for the
same. Like older
first
older
lesson.
older model wings, it's not a big deal, you know.
Yeah, for learning for the first try, it's fine. It works. And as soon as they are about to fly, then I put this like the best stuff possible because there is a
Yeah.
big difference. I find that a lot of kite schools end up giving wing lessons, and I think it's easy.
Hmm.
And people like the clients, they really don't do the difference between one school or the other, right? It's wing foil, it's the same, but there is such a big difference between the school or the teacher that's going to put the foil exactly the right spot, put you a 5.5 instead of a 5, or making you move your foot just slightly like that, or give you the right tip. And I'm seeing a lot of differences in my school, where most of the guys that teach wing foiling comes from windsurfing, and then the riders, the instructors that comes from kiting, they know how to wing, but they are not really the best at teaching winging. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Well,
having the right equipment and the right tips for learning how to wing makes a huge difference.
yeah, but it's hard to find a specific wing foil instructor, right? It's so new. Everybody has come. A lot of it has come from kiting, windsurfing. Maybe from my side, it's all kiting, right? Because we seek out kite instructors. I don't look
Yeah.
for wing foil instructors because we do a lot of kiting still, and it's so specific
Yeah.
that I know that with time I can train a kite instructor to do winging versus a
So
wing instructor to do kiting.
my
I mean, it
instructors,
doesn't
they
go that
are
way.
my instructors. So like the best wing instructors that I have are ex windsurfer that went on to kiting, and now winging came in, and that's very quick to learn winging as an ex windsurfer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can do it all, yeah, for sure. That's got to be the best.
There's a lot of windsurfer that switch to kiting and come back
Yeah.
to winging, right?
Yeah.
So Anita is in that situation, Miguel is in this situation, and Carlos. All three, they all know how to windsurf pretty well. The results on the wing lessons are really like really good.
Are you guys more wing lessons than kite lessons in your shop?
At the moment, the kite is still bigger. I know that I think it comes down to how cool kite looks
Yeah.
and feels. There, like a kite is really fashion, and people want to look cool by kiting. And winging, a lot of people should learn winging instead of kiting. There is a lot of advantages in my opinion, but I'm kiting more than winging. And I'm kind of setting the example of, yeah, if I can choose, I go kiting. So maybe that could change if I start winging again, like a lot more, and publishing a lot about winging. But like for me, when I saw those 600 wingers at the Defi, uh, most of them, they are staying at home, like in France during the winter, and like winging through the winter and super cold. And like, come on, this is like, I think Cancun is a great destination. It's kind of cheap to come. There's direct flights. You finish, like you take your flight. It's 15, like the spot is 15 minutes away from the airport. Like it's pretty accessible, I guess. And
Yeah.
then you can just rent a board from me and travel with your wing and your foils. I have the I have the feeling that eventually it's going to be a destination for winging
Hmm.
because it's warm, it's windy almost every day. You can cross to the island in front, and Garafon. It's awesome to surf little waves. Again, it's safe. So I think it's a great wing spot. And then for learning, it's awesome.
Also good, huh? Yeah, I thought about that just to go back to the kiting and winging lessons and what we've got more of. Um, I always thought it was just because people can learn how to wing on their own, or their friends can teach them, or like people
Yeah,
are a little bit more like eager to
but
do it by themselves versus kiting. You just can't. You can't. I mean,
do you see a lot of actual people learning on their own? I don't see
yeah,
them. I
yeah.
don't
I
know
mean,
where, because
I don't know where you're like you're standing right there. You're really like, where are they?
well, I mean, I don't see any people learning on their own winging.
No.
That's my take, at least. It does take a lot less time and it's cheaper
Yeah.
than kite, but yeah,
I don't know. Well, it's just because we're like 80% kite lessons versus winging and some
80.
e-foils in the
Oh,
mix.
I'm
You know?
probably I'm probably 60 kiting and
Yeah.
30
I don't.
wing and 10. I still have windsurfing. Whether you believe it or not, it's still a thing. I'm the only one
Yeah.
also having windsurf in Cancun. So anyone
Yeah.
who wants to windsurf, he comes down here.
And
I
then,
bought I bought a new board in France for windsurfing,
oh really? They got
50
you, huh?
euros.
50 euros,
Yeah.
and then 200 to bring it on a flight.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's gonna be paying for itself.
Yeah. And then it's just for the lesson thing because the my shop is like 90, 80% foils,
Hmm.
and my school is like 80% kite. So it's just like, there's this weird crossover. But foiling, you can do so many different things, and also you need to upgrade your equipment all the time. So it's totally different. If it was a 1-to-1 sale, then it would probably be 50-50. But people are just too foilers are just too crazy. They need the next wing, they
Yeah.
need another board, they need another wing, they need a new system, they need a right. It's just the
Yeah.
evolution of the equipment is just so fast, and people are so addicted that it just fuels so much to the shop for foiling versus kiting. Someone buys a kite, a bar, a board, I won't see them again for another year and a half. You know,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I've never
but I
really thought of
but
it.
I'll see my
I do sell
foilers
a lot
next
of
month.
kite equipment because the guy who finished kiting learned how to kite, sorry. Well, if you want to have secondhand, like the school equipment, you, I sell them the school equipment and renew with
Yeah,
stock that I have. Winging, I don't sell a lot of like brand new package, everything new, like it's rare. Uh,
winging, you mean?
yeah,
Huh.
like a full package, brand new. Um, Not so much really. I sell a lot of the usual people, like rider that just finished how to wing, to learn how to wing. Sorry, I'm gonna be selling him a used wing, a used foil, and that's how I renew my school equipment all
Yeah.
the time.
The problem, I do that with the kite stuff because that's great, but the foils, they just don't get used as often, or they don't get used as badly. Like a used
Mm,
foil is the same as a new foil to me,
yeah,
versus a used
yeah,
kite after
same.
6 months. It's like, I don't want to use that in the school. I can sell it off cheap and I need to renew it. But the
Yeah,
foils, I don't
yeah.
really need to renew them. Like, why would I sell it for less and then renew it with brand new stuff and let it get scratched up in the school? So I don't have a lot of used stuff that I sell because I have to
Yeah,
renew it
the
with brand new, and I'm
foils,
just losing margin.
the foils that I use for school are so big anyway. It's not the stuff I sell.
Yeah, yeah, mostly.
I sell 1200s and 1000s, and at the school we're 1500, 1700, 2200. Big foil.
Yeah, man. I love coming to your spot. Your team is super nice. Your spot's great. It's beautiful. It's it's very central, so it's easy to get around. There's good taco spots. You know, your instructors were super nice. Your team was super cool. So
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you.
enjoyed.
Pleasure to receive you whenever
Yeah,
you want. Eh?
and then next time, hopefully, I have a little bit more time and I can do some parawing downwinds because I'm not really wing. I'm
Yes,
not really winging anymore. I just parawing. I don't have a wing
I'm
anymore.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
Yeah.
Like I did the Defi the last time I winged. I don't even know when it was.
But you've still got the
And
old BRMs I saw.
so I have the first BRM, but with the second
Yeah, the second tuning.
bridle
Yeah.
configuration. I don't know
Hmm.
how so. Yeah. So far, it's the only wing, para wing, sorry, that I've used. I
I
have
thought you
never
said you
tried
love
something else.
testing gear.
I couldn't get my hand on nothing really. And
I know.
down in the Defi, there was like every brand was there. So I could fly, not on the water because I was so so tired, but I could fly the fly surfer, which sound like extremely stable.
The POW.
The POW, yeah. I also flew the twin skin, like the closed double skin that Theo. Have you seen that, by the way?
Oh, was that Fly Surfer?
Fly surfer. So Theo de Ramcourt, he did the second Defi wing race with imagine the POW but twin
Yeah,
skin.
yeah. No, I've seen it. I saw the video.
He
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 got first, right?
destroyed us, but first by such a margin.
Yeah.
Like it was insane.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. He's it's essentially kite foiling, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
with a 4 meters and no D power or
yeah.
very little D power, it's mind blowing for me. It's mind blowing.
I
The
I mean,
skill of the guy also is
yeah.
like it's not.
I was
He's
trying
really
to
good.
I was trying to think about where that application sits, right? Like now
Racing.
here's this. I know, but man, you fall going 50 knots, tangling, like how do you get back up from that? Like what if you fall in it, you're going to roll around, like that's it, you're done. No? Like with a wing, you fall and then you know the thing's inflated, you gather yourself up. With a kite foil, you know, your lines are so far away, you have time to gather it, you know, but man, if he fell, like I'm sure he's fallen, he's eating shit doing
Yeah,
that. But I was thinking, I
I've
was watching him going full speed, and I was thinking, damn, he eats shit right now. He's not coming back out of that. No?
I've never thought really about it, but I mean, you learn how to use learn how to use it. I was thinking the same first that was the power rings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend all my time tangle and everything. Never. Like it's very easy to untangle in the water. I don't know. I
Well,
it
because you're a
doesn't
kiter,
really
right?
attract me.
Yeah.
The race power winging doesn't attract me, but it was really interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
flew this one a little bit
looks
and it
sick.
was extremely stable. I flew a prototype of F1, also a little bit more stable than my
Are they
BRM.
are they still in the prototyping phase then?
No, I think it's coming
It's
out. I just received the day when it's coming out, like in June, very very soon. But the one that I tried was this the 10th of June is the launch, and then I brought a plume with me, so I'm gonna try that today after.
what size? A
So
4?
I have no idea.
Oh, really?
I just took it.
Just-
Um,
Did you guys have wind in
but
Cancun today?
yeah, yeah, it's with needs 20 knots.
Okay, okay. All right, damn. Fuck. That's
Yeah.
not typical for the season, no?
Yeah, no, still June, and we have a lot of decent days.
I
It's
mean, it's
not
been
every day, but we have a lot of decent days.
yeah,
I
summer's
think
kicked on
next,
for us. It's been epic. 20
yeah,
knots every day. Downwinding is epic. We're getting a little bit of seaweed the last couple of days, so it's been like, you know, doing downwinders, we're dodging seaweed out there.
uh-huh.
But with a pair wing, you eventually hit a bunch of seaweed, you get it off, and you pop your pair wing back up. I was
hmm
thinking if I was on a sup, like when that happened last year, the years before, I was so pissed. But with the
Yeah.
pair wing, who cares?
Do you know my story about how I ended up fucked between Cozumel and Cancun, sub downwinding?
No, no.
Parrowing would have been pretty good at this. So I wanted to go from Cozumel to Cancun, sub downwinding, sub foil downwinding. And to do that, I took the ferry to Cozumel and then I winged with my paddle, like I did a deflator basically. But first I winged like 30K all the way to the north of the island of Cozumel to get in line with the wind and the waves. Then I deflated, started my downwind, and I did like 20K downwind. So now I don't see any land,
It was blowing
neither
like
Cozumel,
straight. It was blowing south or southeast.
southeast. Yeah. And then there is the strong current between Cozumel and Cancun, right? There's 4 or 5 knots of current going toward Cuba. And then sargassum, like so much sargassum. And I couldn't glide at all. So eventually I stopped, took the sargassum away, relaunched. Same, as soon as you relaunch, again sargassum. And so I use a 94 liters board for sub downwind, 7.4,
Jesus.
1018. And normally it's perfectly fine because normally I'm just with my board short.
How much do
And
you
this
weigh?
time, 75. And this time, because I had like 4 liters of water, I had a wing on my backpack, I had food, I had my phone, I had VHF, the Garmin InReach. Like literally, my board when I was not paddling was sinking.
Oh, so brutal, man.
And so eventually I got completely gassed. I tried first the VHF, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, like no phone signal, nothing. And so I tried those VHF. Hey, is anybody here? No answers. All right. Well, I have two options. First, I'm gonna try to reinflate my wing, and if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna throw the wing away and gain some
Like with
weight.
your mouth?
And I inflated my wing with my mouth just enough so it was barely holding the shape. And then I had the things to tie the paddle to my handles. So the batten really was like the strut was fairly stiff because of the paddle, but then the
Yeah.
sail was bending so much, like it was 2 psi. And it was just enough to get going, pumping a lot the board. I couldn't pump the sail because it was bending so much,
Yeah.
but then I could pump the board, get going, and then once I was up and flying, like the little that my sail was pulling was enough to get on the like to stay on the foil even though I had service. And I ended up in Puerto Morelos.
Damn.
Yeah, it was
And how so
unfortunate.
how long was that?
I think it was 4.5 hours, including the 30K of reaching the north of Cozumel,
Yeah, because that
alone.
that part in there, yeah, that sucks. That in between Cozumel um and the coastline, it's called El
Yeah,
Cantil, right?
El Cantil. Yeah, yeah.
And the current is insane in between there.
It's very strong. Four,
So
four, 4 knots, 5 knots.
and it depends how close you are where you are in the coastline. It could be pretty close. Like when we were teaching
Yeah.
in Playa del Carmen, the wind would be northeast 10, 11 knots. I could go out with my twin tip and I just rip all the way out into Cantil and I
Hmm.
just tack as far as I could and I'd come back and the current would just rip you upwind.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you weren't even really riding upwind. It was just the current was just like taking you. It was like a
It's
train. It was
it's
amazing.
it's kind of like Hood River
So you were
when
but you were going with the tide.
with the tide. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you weren't going against
Well,
it.
with, but kind of on
Yeah, side
like
side.
it goes northeast,
Yeah.
and I was going like northwest.
Yeah,
But
I'd love to go back there and see how that is for downwinding in Playa del
so
Carmen area. Do you
the
guys
next
get
one I'm gonna
Cantil over
do
there?
in Cancun. No, in Cancun it
Oh,
is far away. But
yeah.
my next kind of long distance that I'm planning, apart from the one
Oh shit, we
at your
didn't even
place,
talk about that. We didn't talk
uh,
about your long distance either. Like, let's talk about
yeah.
that in a second.
No, but the next strong north wind that I'm gonna get, I'm gonna try to go the longest downwind that I can. So I'm gonna start from the eastern tip of Cancun and try to go to the Cantil where the wind go against current,
Hmm.
and it's really really good for downwind. I'm gonna go
Nice.
to, I don't know, up to Tulum or like Playa Tulum. I don't know how long I'm gonna
How
be
far
able
you
to
can
go,
go.
but
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a proper long one.
that's epic.
I'm paying the Garmin InReach, so I have to use the membership, you know.
Yeah. So we'll finish this up with tell us about your long distance kind of challenge, or not the surfer one that we talked about, but you did like started in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chetumal and you wanted to do multiple sports going all the
So
way
I
down and
did.
you went around the corner to Cuyo or
Yeah, so we did. We wanted to film a documentary about how connected the states of Quintana Roo, the Mexican Caribbean, is connected to the water. So the typical idea of someone when you hear Cancun and Playa del Carmen, it's party, right? It's all inclusive resorts and it's spring break shit and stuff like that, right? And my opinion of this of the destination is it's among the best in several water sports in the world. Like we have amazing scuba diving, amazing free diving, amazing kiting, amazing downwinding, amazing like we can dive with bull shark, with whale shark. Like
you
there's
can
so much to
you can
do.
foil with them too.
You can foil with them, yeah. And so that's my opinion of the place, right? Yet it's not known for that. So what we wanted to do is show that you can do a trip where you arrive in Cancun, you rent a car, and you can go to those places and kite and dive and free dive there and there and there, right? Um, and so we went in 8 places. So in Bacalar, Chetumal, Mahahual, Tulum, Cozumel, Cancun, and Holbox. And then we went to Puerto Morelos for some freediving. But basically, all the little towns that the state have. And to make it, I guess, a little bit more interesting, I challenged myself to join every site riding. So a little bit of winging, and then I crossed all the Laguna of Bacalar winging. So it was 50K downwind. It was nice. And then I paddled 47 kilometers from Bacalar to Chetumal in very like it was so nice. It was a river, so the current was with me, and it was
I don't care
like
how nice it is. That sounds
yeah,
brutal.
it was brutal. Especially the last 2 hours was like had 20 knots in the face. It was brutal.
Ouch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we couldn't really go from Chetumal. There was no wind, and we had issue with the boat and everything. But we couldn't go from Chetumal to Mahahual. But then we went scuba diving in Mahahual, and then from Mahahual I kited until Tulum, and then so everything. The rest I did everything in kite foil because it was the best craft, I guess, to do that. Then from Tulum to Cozumel, Cozumel to Cancun, and then Cancun to Holbox. And then in the run from Cancun to Holbox, there is Sergio and Pepe and Jorge came with me. So we were four kite foilers, 150K
Damn.
downwinder. It was pretty cool.
That's nice.
And so we filmed everything with like cinema cameras and the production the guy that filmed and is editing and stuff. He's a documentalist.
Hmm.
Is really good. We have amazing underwater footage and everything. So hopefully that's gonna be ready. I guess mid like December. I don't want to say a specific date because I really want it to be nicely done,
Hmm.
and then we'll see with distribution. Ideally, we want to be like on Netflix or some kind of platforms like this. If it's not possible, we put on YouTube so everybody can see it. But really, we had amazing winds, like, and the footage in general was like really nice. It's gonna be a little bit about kiting and a lot about the destination, like.
Yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, it's gonna be nice and yeah, it was fun, really fun, very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds really cool. When you did that, I was like, damn, that reminds me of like what I want to do here in Puerto Rico, you know? And
Yeah,
I've been
and
talking about it for 5 years.
we talked about it, and I mean, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely in. Like,
I mean, now every single year a new discipline comes in. So I'm like, cool. Now I got to pair wing it down to here, wing it around here, downwind it over here, kite foil it up there. You know, like I just want to foil around Puerto Rico.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Always said that I wanted to, like the next has to be foiling around the country, and Puerto Rico is not exactly. I guess it is a country. It's the U.S., but it is
Yeah,
a country, right?
it's its own thing. We're out here.
Yeah, I like Paula is looking at me like you're not foiling around the country.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm not following you around. Yeah.
I don't know which other country could be.
Yeah, but obviously
It's
you
better
like
Puerto Rico
challenges.
than Australia.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, there's this guy, I can't remember his name. He swam around England or something, you know?
Yeah, nah.
Like like
No, thank you.
like crazy. Crazy. So this wouldn't be so bad, you know, but it would still be a good challenge.
How long it is? Is it like 500K?
I don't know. I can't remember. It really depends how you do it because it's, you know, it's straight east wind. So it blows down both coasts. So you have to do one side, you have to do upwind. You'd have
So
to
it's
go
kite foiling
across and then
upwind,
downwind one side.
kite
Yeah.
foiling upwind, and
Wing,
then
wing foil across and then downwind, pair wing, or
yeah,
just downwind down the coast, you know, and then around the other side. So it depends. I mean, I've mapped it so many different ways. I can't really remember how many. I think like in total it was probably around 290 kilometers or something like that to go around it in various different
Might be
sections.
miles.
Miles, maybe.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
I looked into the maps and I said
Yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah.
4 days,
Well, it's
3 days.
it's been on the list for a long time. I've just been, ever growing family,
Yeah,
business.
it's very hard. So
It's
the
just
thing
like
is, we
I want to
because we did it
challenge
the way
myself though.
because we did it the way we did it, filming and really making a story about the states. We managed to have like founding,
Yeah, yeah.
and so we could have a rescue boat and everything.
Yeah, that's ideal for
Honest,
sure.
it is ideal, but we spent close to $4,000 on gas for the boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know if I want to repeat that without founding. I'm not repeating that, especially because the way I did it, actually, at least the riding that we did was absolutely possible without a safety boat. It would have been very
Not
different.
for you.
And yes, yeah, I'm not pushing anyone to do those things, right?
Well,
It's just challenges for
it's
me.
always like that, and it's always like that until something happens, right? In hindsight,
Yeah, but
you're like,
the
yeah,
whole
totally fine. Well, the wind was kind of on shore, right?
it was always on shore. I was always like maximum 2 kilometers from the shore, 3 kilometers from the shore. Like, and it was 15 knots, like
Yeah.
not like really stable wind and everything. It would have been a
Yeah.
lot cheaper to doing like just fucking take a bus and then come back. Like only I
Yeah.
used one kite during the whole thing. So,
Yeah, for
but
sure. Yep.
if you're two riders and if during the upwind part you don't go too far, and now because of power winging, now everything is a lot safer.
Yeah.
You can easily take a power wing in the backpack and oh, my kite exploded. Power wing back. So I don't know.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just received my North power wing. I'm gonna try them today as well.
Nice. Yeah, they're fun. It's a great product. I was using it yesterday. I used it the day before. I'm using all of them. I've got the BRMs, the Kanahas, the Kaz, the North. I'm on Ozone, the Flows.
How is the ozone?
The Ozone's great. Yeah.
Goes very well upwind, no?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a comparison video on YouTube because I mean the customers come into the shop and I have to spend like an hour explaining every single thing
Uh-huh.
because I really don't know which one they want. I don't know which one's the best yet, but there are differences. But
Yeah.
I've got them all in stock, so I do want to sell them all, and I think they're all
Yeah.
good. But I want to be I'm too particular is the problem. So they're all really good. Ozone I think
It was
it's
very
really the best
interesting.
one to go upwind.
It was very interesting in France. Everyone think about power winging as okay, that's the option to go upwind and then downwind. And
yeah.
I like my experience of power winging is fuck upwind. I don't do that. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Well,
And
it's
I
getting more
think,
accessible now is the thing.
sorry?
It's getting more accessible now. Like now it's an option to go upwind comfortably
Well,
and then do a downwinder.
yes. Not like again, my experience is only with the first BRM.
Yeah. So
I
don't do
don't
it with
want
the
to go
first
upwind.
BRM. Don't do it with
Yeah.
the first BRM. Don't do it with the North, right?
Yeah.
The North it's very similar upwind to the BRM. It doesn't collapse as much, like it doesn't lose its structure, but it just you angle it too much, it starts kind of pushing back a little bit. It's not the
Yeah.
best at going upwind, but it's for your customers, like I love selling the North to people that have never parawinged before. They want to pop up and get on foil. It's super easy to use, but it's
Yeah,
not going to
it's
rip upwind, but it's
no, but
easier to handle.
we don't have problem. Like the road is straight. Like
Straight.
there's
Yeah.
one road that get us there, and a chauffeur is super cheap here.
Then
So
it's a great parawing
we
for
don't
that.
do upwinds. Like I did 2 deflators in my life, like going upwind with the wing and then deflating and come back. I said, why would I do that? I just take my car, but it's easier.
Yeah, but that sounds horrible. I don't want to do that either. But with the parawing, it's not that bad. Once you get the right one, like let's see what this F1 does for you. The Ozone, man, you can just rip upwind. It's like 6 tacks. If because sometimes we don't have the time to like get a shuttle to do it. Like I've got half an hour that I can session between this or that. So I go to the beach real quick. I grab my parawing, boom. I bust upwind. I go outside. I do a little downwinder, and then I like come back and I'm like, cool. I got my fill, and I like that downwind freedom. And then because I'm a kiter and I like sailing around, like I really enjoy sailing the parawing around. Like it's fun. It's nuancy. It's just
That
enjoyable.
I haven't done a lot, but again, that's was the
Yeah.
first BRM, which is
Yeah.
not the nicest to ride, I guess. It does the job. Like the one, like my use of para winging right now is get into position, stow, and then just downwind, and I can use
Yeah.
smaller bore, smaller foil. That's
Yeah. So
my use
yeah.
of it.
BRM is great for that too because they're the smallest thing that packs. They're just like they
Hmm.
pack into it. Their material is so light and easy. So I mean, they did a great job from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, they know that what's up. So
Well, cool.
you wanna send off with anything special?
Ari, I'm gonna try the plume this afternoon. So that's my plan for the rest of the day.
Nice.
And I'm
Awesome.
kidding, but yeah, no, thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. We share a lot of similarities
Yeah.
in our life, I guess.
Yeah. Having a
It's
school and a shop and
yeah,
doing all the sports, enjoying it, loving it. Yeah. I felt, when I met you, I knew that there was these similarities. And then
hmm
Mariana said, "Oh, she's like, that's the you and that's the you." And I'm like,
I actually sent her your podcast when you speak about your organization. I don't know, I can't remember the name of the lady that works for you.
I've got a Nisha works with me.
Yeah, and and it's okay. Hey, look, and you're Nisha from there, and like it's very very interesting.
You're inspiring. Like I watch your big air board offs and stuff, and I strive to get to that level. So keep up the good
Cool.
work and keep on pushing, bro. And
Yeah,
thanks for
thanks,
being on the
and
show. Appreciate it.
enjoy Hood River for me because
Yeah, I will.
I kind of want to go.
Yeah,
But
you'll go. You'll have time.
yeah, well, thanks a lot,
You.
and yeah, see you
Thanks,
soon.
guys.